Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Racing Unleashed here for Challenge 3 of the iRacing series. I'm your host, Matthew Duffin, bringing you all the action from today's Challenger League event in what should be a fantastic day of racing after the Porsche Cup cars that we saw at Hockenheim and the GT4s around Watkins Glen. It's going to be a fantastic day of racing here at Daytona. We are live for the Challenger League this week and in a fortnight's time for the Racer League boys to take to the action of this fantastic circuit here in Florida. What a track it is going to be and what a race it is going to be as well. But first we can hear from James Walker.
This thing is awesome. First of all, starting off with the tub, the chassis itself. This is actually handcrafted in Italy and it's designed to simulate effectively what it's like to be in a single-seater environment. Now, when you lower yourself inside here, you are sitting in a real carbon seat, which is very tricky indeed. Now, what self-respecting single-seater wouldn't have a removable steering wheel? This also carbon effect, real carbon shifters here, and there is a plethora of tech for you to learn as you go down the Racing Unleashed journey. Now, down there's a really trick pedal box. Once again, this is designed to simulate what a brake servo is like on a single-seater with high downforce, really stiff, really reassuring, and you can actually adjust the pedal box itself to get your optimum feel. Now then, racing harnesses. This for me is my favorite feature. There is a retention system inside the shell itself which simulates G-force under heavy braking, and it can actually replicate up to 5 Gs of deceleration. It's super immersive, and when you try it for the first time, you can't believe how much it adds to the overall immersion of driving a single-seater. And then to tie it all together, down here at the back, we've got the hydraulic actuators, and this simulates the lumps and bumps, going over curbs, undulations, and just general movement of the car. All in all, it's one of the best simulator experiences you're going to find anywhere.
Thank you there, Mr. JWW, for the fantastic explanation of what is a fantastic piece of equipment over our racing lounges in Munich, Madrid and in Zurich then. Great pieces of machinery that you saw on offer at the esports event a couple of weeks ago, and in Challenge 1 of the Road to Ascari. They'll be back later in the month for the Challenge 3 with a different prize up for grabs. And right now we can hear from our owner, Francisco Fernandez.
Dear friends of motorsports, dear sim racing community. I'm Francisco Fernandez, founder and CEO of Racing Unleashed, and I'm thrilled to invite and welcome you to our series. At Racing Unleashed, our goal is to put a dent into the universe of motorsports, breaking down barriers and making motorsports accessible for everyone, everywhere. With our state-of-the-art simulators, we bridge the gap between the virtual world and the physical world of racing. Our racing lounges do not only provide you exposure to state-of-the-art technology, but also ensures for fairness in sports, harmonizing software, hardware to give everybody the same chances to win. Additional to that, being the owner of probably the most beautiful and exclusive racing resort in the world, Ascari in southern Spain, I'm dedicated to scout the best talents in sim racing and bring them to the real track and real cars. Join us on this exciting journey and help us to become the most exciting and engaging motorsports in the world. Follow us as we expand our reach, coming to the town next to you globally. I'm also dedicated to make sim racing careers true careers for you. This year, we are excited that we've added iRacing to our offering, immersing ourselves even deeper into your hearts. Now you can compete even from the coziness of your own home and race for prize money. So I wish you herewith best of luck, may the best win, and I'm looking forward to seeing you again in one of our racing lounges. Thank you very much, Francisco.
And thank you there to Francisco on the kind words and the message, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks here at Racing Unleashed. There we go into the Challenge 3 of the iRacing platform. Obviously, different challenges every month, and it is a challenge for the Challenger League drivers and the Racer League drivers alike to win their hands on a small bit of prize money for the top 3 by the end of today. So it's a great little prize for these drivers. And speaking of prizes, we can give you the race results of that Racer League event at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. It was Nicholas Laubish who took the race win and took home €200. With him, Pascal Stix, 150 to his name, and Tim Matsky then with €100 as prize money for finishing P3. Today's prize money a little less on offer for these drivers. It is on screen now, €125 for that win, 75 for second and €50 for third, in which we saw Jack Badger do very well last time out in the Challenger League. Races at Watkins Glen, but we stay in America. We change the circuits completely, though. We go to the Daytona road course, the International Speedway circuit of the Daytona track, obviously well known for its 24 hours of Daytona racing, and we're getting them with the GT3 IMSA cars. These are the cars on offer for the drivers today, and they can pick any one of these cars: the Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo, the BMW M4, beautiful car, Ferrari 296, the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo, the Mercedes AMG GT3, or the Porsche 911 GT3R 992 in brackets. So not the newest Porsche, not the newest Lamborghini, for these drivers that have started to come to platforms over the last couple of months. It's an interesting one to see which cars the drivers will pick. I, in front of me, can see which cars they have picked. There is one car that is heavily favoured around this circuit. Just managing to look at the chat as well. There is a lot of support already in the chat. Looking for some top racing today. The SRC boys are activating their support. Good morning to Fury's granddad, aka Tony, and to Jay as well. The track, though, for today is, as we said, the Daytona International Speedway, but the format is a very interesting one. Now, each week we change the format, or each challenge we change the format. It is IMSA GT3, as we've just said, around the Daytona road course. The grid size is up to 30 drivers. I believe we have 25 drivers at the moment, 25-7 pre-qualified, I do believe. Now, there's a 10-minute qualifying period. After that 10-minute qualifying period, that will set the grid for race 1, a 14-lap race around this fantastic track. 5 laps will be full racing. Let's go. And if you Racing Unleashed fans, you'll remember from the knockout qualifying, we then get to the end of lap 5. We will lose any driver outside the top 20, so from 21st down to 30th. Every lap after that, we'll lose 2 drivers until we get a 6-car shootout for the last couple of laps in this race. I believe the last 2 laps in this race. Race 2 will then be the same format, but it will be reverse grid of race 1. So if you are then 5 or 6 drivers eliminated in that first part of the race, you will be starting at the front of the pack, so on and so forth down that list into that second race, which again, 14 laps, same format, 5 laps of racing. Everybody outside that top 20 will be eliminated, and 2 every lap after until we get that top 6 shootout. Points are on offer for both races, and it's the top 3 drivers with the most points across the 3 races that will score the prize money at the end. And then points range down from 32 all the way down to 6 points for 25 drivers that we have in the lobby. Like we said, 27 pre-qualified, so hopefully them other 2 can get in as well. But we can have a look at this fantastic circuit, the road course of Daytona, as we said, used in the 24 hours of Daytona, which was only a few months ago in the real world. It is a beautiful, beautiful circuit, as well as on the iRacing platform. We had the 24 hours of Daytona as well. You come through turn 1 after being at top speed for quite a while, and it is very easy to just outbrake yourself a little bit through turn 1. Then you've got 2 and 3. They come up very quick, but you don't really feel them. You kind of straight line the chicane, if you will, that is there as you go right over both curbs. As you head down the small stretch of road in towards turn 4, the International Horseshoe, as it is known, you really have to pick your braking absolutely beautifully, because you can easily run deep onto the grass, and that could spell the loss of a couple of positions. Down then this stretch towards the dogleg of the left-hand kink that is there. It will be flat out for these drivers in the GT3s today. As they come through it, they'll just clip the inside curb, running out to the right, back across to the left as quickly as they can before the next horseshoe, the West Horseshoe as it is known. Again, easy to outbrake yourself. You come back down the short straight, then you have a left-hander No name for the corner of turn 7 as you come onto then the oval part of the circuit. 31 degrees of banking on the oval circuit. It's a fantastic, bit of banking that these drivers can use. And it's going to be interesting to see the different lines, if drivers are going to get that slipstream and pull up high, or look to stay down low and get that toe and that draft all the way through the first part of the oval, down the back stretch end and into the Le Mans chicane. A fantastic piece of circuit this is. Again, very easy to make a move or try and make a move on the inside, but easily to outbrake yourself. Get a good run through the Le Mans chicane, and if you're in the slipstream of the car ahead of you, you will get a good launch out right around the next part of the banking as you come round turns 12 and down in towards the home stretch and then towards the checkered flag for that race win or potentially pole position. So a fantastic layout on this circuit, a fantastic track that we have, and we are into the qualifying session, 10-minute qualifying session that is among us here, and you can just see the scenes of Daytona beautifully laid out as you can see there. Then it is 22 degrees here, partly cloudy, so it's going to be an interesting one to see what these drivers will do. And I saw in the practice session that it was in the night time, so keep your eyes out for whether it will go. It is in the night time again for that qualifying session, so this is going to be an interesting one as well. Now, I did read yesterday that the lights around Daytona in the real world are only at 30% sort of power, so that the car's natural headlights will take over more of the track than what the floodlights will, just to give them that more feel. As you see the Porsche on circuit here of Ruben Lorente coming through that Le Mans chicane, the white and black Porsche high up to the wall. And an interesting line for Ruben here as he comes through the final part of the circuit and is going to take his first flying lap out there then. Drivers already on flying laps at the moment. Ruben Lorente currently green sectors so far throughout, and he had that higher line and stays high again as he comes towards the line, but nobody yet on a fast lap, so we'll see what they can do now. In towards turn 1, Ruben gets his braking absolutely right, so close to that tyre wall where the pit wall kind of ends and re-begins once again. You don't really feel this chicane, it's just there. You go over the curbs nicely in towards the horseshoe then. Very easy to outbrake yourself. Pick up the apex, nicely done. Now run out wide, use that curb on the far side over the white line. That is fine there. Back across the right hand side of the circuit, you'll find the dog leg here. Left-hander, flat out, no problems for the Porsche. Right then left in towards the west horseshoe again. Very, very late apex to pick up. Gets it done now. A little slide as he powers out of the corner, now coming towards the left-hand corner before the oval, using a lot of the curb, and these curbs pretty flat, no sausage curbs near them as well, so you can run a lot of these curbs here at the Daytona road course. And now he tumbles down the bottom of the banking there. Here is Sebastian Hirsch, who I know full well, speak to him this week, has just reinstalled his sim rig and had some new bits in, so he's modified his simulator, and he'll be looking to put on a good performance for his first outing in it this weekend. As he comes round another Porsche on the circuit, it's going to be interesting to see what these Porsches can do then. Down towards the start line, then he stays to the left-hand side of the track, comes down towards the start line and not yet put a lap time on the board, so he's just started his first flying lap, clearly late out the pits. It is Demori who has gone pole at the moment, as we've seen some other times come in as well at the moment. Jatatis goes into second place. And as you can see there is that one dominant car of the Porsche 911. On your screens there is 1296, a couple of Audis in there as well. And here is Jatatis then, here is Marcus Valverde in the Porsche. Surprise, surprise, as he crosses the line now. And that puts him up to P12 on the leaderboard at the moment. Marcus Valverde, the runner-up in the Challenger League season, last season then for Racing Unleashed. It was a good season for himself. And here is Gonzalez Alabu then. Love the livery on that. The cookie Mercedes-Benz. That is fantastic. He comes now towards the line. Mikel, what can he do? The privateer going to cross the line now and puts himself up into P16 ahead of Juan Ferrado then. Now on board with Kovacs, who is coming to the line. Another Porsche one Mercedes-Benz, one Lamborghini, two Audis, two Ferraris, and Kovacs goes P16 ahead of Gonzalez Alabu for the time being. Then a couple of drivers yet to get a qualifying lap time in. One driver not yet out on track. There is another Ferrari and a Mercedes to do a lap time. There's a handful of Porsches left to put a lap time in. Here's one of the Audis, though. It's Sinan de Merbas in the 99 Audi here. And this is going to be fantastic to see the racing that goes off around this circuit. Sinan de Merbas currently sat P7 as Yannick Pletcher puts a time in. Club goes up to P5. And for Sinan, he's coming towards the line now in his Audi. Currently 0.6 of a second down. Tokarev moves up to P7. Sinan de Merbas stays in P9 at the moment. Great to see the Audi out on circuit. And will Sinan de Merbas, does he have the gardening gloves on? That's the biggest question. Here's Thomas Herzog, P18 at the moment in his Porsche. Quicker than Gianluca Palmisano and just behind Marcus Valverde. Two drivers you'll know very, very well from the Challenger League of Racing Unleashed. He comes across the line now, and that is no improvement for Thomas Herzog. Stays P19. Only two drivers yet to qualify. One driver still in the pit lane, so he is not yet out on circuit. And here is Marcelo Caserta then, who's coming through the grid, the international horseshoe in the Ferrari 296. Fantastic car. Yet to put a lap time in at the moment. He now comes into the West Horseshoe for Absolute Motorsport. As Kovacs moves up to P13 on the timing screen, 6 minutes 48 seconds left. Have gone through this qualifying session. It is Demori on pole from Sardini in second place. And it's Ruben Lorente, Tatis, Torres, Club, and Krucken. All in Porsche. Tokarev in P8's the first car that's not a Porsche. Say that, that's now P9 as Sebastian Hirsch moves up to 8th place. But through the Le Mans chicane comes Caserta. Yannick Pletcher now moves up to P9. Noteful now moves up into P10. So it's a Porsche 1 to 10 at the minute out there on the circuit. As Tokarev manages to put a Ferrari, and now Sinan de Merbas puts his Audi into P8. What can Caserta do? Not yet got a lap time on the board. He's going to come round to the line momentarily. Car number 69 here, and what is the lap time going to be as he comes towards it now? He's under the yellow line there, so I don't think that lap time is going to count. It does. P15 he goes, and then quickly gets tumbled down to P16. Here is Jack Badger, the man we saw in the Porsche GT4 last time out at Watkins Glen, took the win in the Challenger League. He was fantastic there. He's left the Porsche. He's gone to the Lamborghini for Alfa Esports. And this is going to be interesting to see what he can do. Valverde is in the pit lane, so he will be done for this session then. And Jack Badger now, currently P14. He didn't have the best qualifying pace at Watkins Glen, if you remember, but over the 3 races had great racecraft. And that is what put him in the position to win the €125. Jack Badger now then rounds the West Horseshoe, down towards the oval he comes. You just hear that Lamborghini purr as it comes onto the back straight, and down to the bottom of the banking he goes now as he heads down towards the Le Mans chicane on the back stretch of the circuit. Kovacs is in the pit lane as well as Valverde, so them two are done. Torres now in the pit lane. Yannick Pletcher moves up into P6. Great lap time from Yannick Pletcher. We've not seen Yannick since the Road to Ascari event once, so it's great to see him out here on the iRacing platform today. Yannick, the Challenger League champion here at Racing Unleashed from last season. Demori is in the pits as well, so drivers finishing. Jack Badger will get one more lap time in, I do believe, as he comes to the line now. And is he going to improve 0.6 of a second? You look at that, a second separates the top 21. And he does, he moves up into P8. So a good lap there from Jack Badger, and I believe he'll get time for one more run in. Here is Mikel Gonzalez Alabal then. What will he do in his cookie machine of the Mercedes AMG GT3? He rounds the final bank of the tri-oval. And he crosses the line, stays P23, now moves into P22, knocks Thomas Herzog down a position, as that is the end of qualifying there. Then, and it was Simon Demori who took the pole position there in a fantastic session for him. Dominated by Porsches is the favoured car choice today, but it is Jack Badger, P8, the highest non-Porsche car on there. It is Simon Demori on the front row with Gerard Sardini second place. Ruben Lorente from Jetatis on row 2. Torres and Yannick Pletcher row 3. P7 is Michael Clubb with Jack Badger, P8. Krucken, P9 with Demerbas, P10. Tokrev is P11 with Sebastian Hirsch, P12. 30th place then is noteful in from the Swiss driver on P13 of the grid. Vigario is P14. Marcus Valverde is in 15th place with Belicki in 16th. Caserta 17th place alongside Kovacs. 19th place is Marco Hack with Duran. Can't quite see that on the screen in front of me. Sorry, the Duran Pardina in P20. Gianluca Palmisano 21st with Gonzalez Alabu 22nd. Thomas Herzog alongside Ferrado. And then it is Rogier on P25. Didn't qualify, did the privateer at the back. So hopefully we'll get to see him out for qualifying. Then it is a rolling start being on the tri-oval circuit, on the American circuits. There's a rolling start for these GT3s, and we are about to get underway for the first 14 laps, apologies. 14 minutes, that's a short race. 14 laps of this fantastic Daytona circuit. Then it is going to be a brilliant one to watch. It is Porsche's 1-7. Jack Badger spoils that party with his Lamborghini in 8th, Porsche 9th, Audi 10th. The best Ferrari's P11th, the best Mercedes is P14. So let's see what they can do on this race as the nighttime descends here at the Daytona Speedway. And this will be fantastic to see what these drivers can do. The safety car will take them away. He'll peel off into the pit lane, and then it will be green here momentarily when the drivers get to the line. And we saw drivers use different kind of strategies before the line at Watkins Glen as the safety car now peels slowly away, very cautiously, and he's going to drop through the Le Mans chicane, and he'll drop into the pit lane. No Sebastian Hirsch or Rogier on my timing screen. They are both greyed out, which I do believe means that they are in the pits. So they have not taken to the start of this race. So that'll bump up a few drivers. Sebastian Hirsch was going very well in that qualifying session. So it's a shame for him, and it promotes Yannick Pletcher and others up a place or two. And a few familiar names if you are Racing Unleashed fans here. Obviously getting to know the likes of Jack Badger and Demori and the likes of Tim Belicki, who's been around a couple of races now, Vlad Tokarev. For those regular viewers who know Yannick Pletcher and Sebastian Hirsch and a few of the other drivers, that's a shame for Sebastian. Hopefully he can get out there on the circuit. In this one then, there's the safety car, pace car in America, will pull off into the pit lane in a few moments' time. There he goes. Leaving this to Simon Demori then, who's already decided to drop the hammer and go here. The green light is yet to come on. It's green now as they start this race. And Simon Demori just got the jump straight away, made sure that he was well ahead going into turn one as they all funnel into the first corner. And it is nice and clean through from everybody at the moment. They all come out the corner as well. All lovely, apart from that spinning Porsche in the background who's rolling it backwards off onto the grass. That is the Yannick Pletcher car that's had a good start. And he'll be disappointed, who had a good qualifying but a bad start. He'll be disappointed with that one. Yannick Pletcher tumbling down the order, but it's Demori who leads. Valverde is down at the bottom. As you can see, Sebastian Hirsch is a lap down, I believe, has got out there on the circuit, but is a lap down at the minute. I'm not sure if he is out there, actually. Doesn't say he's in the pit lane, so I presume so. So he's a lap down, and Yannick Pletcher has got a lot of work to do. But you see the bottom 5 names on the timing screen. That is drivers that are at risk in this race. Here is Ferrado then. Coming through, the privateer currently down in P22. Right, so just been told in my ear that after this lap, it will show Sebastian Hirsch on the lead lap. So whatever the problem was for Sebastian, he will be on the lead lap. He's not a lap down, and he is also ahead of Yannick Pletcher. Here is the cookie car of Alabau then. the Mercedes-Benz, as they all are going to try and use that slipstream. Coming down towards the Le Mans chicane, you see one of the Porsches and Ferraris. That is Caserta trying to defend from Hack behind him, as they all funnel through the Le Mans chicane and now towards the banking. And you see some other cars taking a higher line than other drivers. Tim Bellicki has dropped down a few positions there, so has Tokarev. They've all taken a high line, not quite sure why, because it hasn't really worked for them there. They've lost out a few places. Slowdown's being told in our ear, so potentially just moving out the way of the other traffic while the cars are so slow. And look at all these cars just picking up places. The slipstream in full effect here down towards turn 1. And that is Jack Badger managing to squeeze up the inside. Here's Noteful then, as well, trying to make up some moves. Sebastian Hirsch still down in 24th. That's one of the Audis in the wall. Sergio spins around out of turns 2 and 3. What a shame for him. He drops himself now into that knockout part of the lap. Marco Hack here with the virtual reality headset on. Has one lunged up the inside by Caserta. Great move from him. And that's another, that's a Porsche in the wall. That is Kovacs in the wall. And tries to reverse it out now. Lorente is in the pit lane. And Yannick Pletcher. Kovacs has returned to the pit lane as well. So at the minute, Yannick Pletcher climbing up the orders, as is Sebastian Hirsch. Still registered as a lap down, but Yannick Pletcher on the back of the pack. He'll be used to coming through the field like this from last year with his Challenger League knockout qualifying he had to do. But it's Demori out front who leads by 1.4 seconds. Here's Tim Bellicki on the back of Caserta in the Ferrari, down towards the Le Mans chicane. Keeps it nice and tight towards the wall and just watches the Ferrari go through. Tries to get a better exit. Looks like he has done a little bit. Caserta just clipped the grass. And that's going to cost him a bit of speed coming out. You see the slowdown he'd have got there. Very slow off. There's also a higher Porsche of Hack. And Caserta then tumbling down a few positions, but manages to get back up to speed. Gianluca Palmisano has that momentum and he's going to get past Caserta. Thomas Herzog looks like he's going to attempt to as well. Now they avoid Hack, who looks like he's still very slow at the moment. And they both pick up extra couple of positions there. Badger's dropped down to P7. He's having a good fight. Thomas Herzog, though, is on the back of Palmisano at the minute. Yannick Pletcher is now behind Sebastian Hirsch. So that has rectified Sebastian Hirsch's lap times. And he's now back onto the lead lap. Here is Sebastian Hirsch, who needs to get past Verardo to get out of that elimination zone. Yannick Pletcher's trying to follow him through. They both go around the outside of the International Horseshoe. They'll have the inside line then for the dogleg. And they are both past Verardo. Great move from Hirsch. Great move from Pletcher. He's following Sebastian through the pack here. And that was fantastic to see. So Hirsch is now out of trouble, but Yannick Pletcher is not. You get that sense of Racing Unleashed from last year in the knockout qualifying when we lost drivers every lap. And that is Hack, who's around in his Porsche. I hope he doesn't get too dizzy with the virtual headset on there, but he's gone around, coming down towards the oval and has dropped down to P22. That puts Yannick Pletcher out of trouble. Still got 2 laps to go, though, is Yannick. And who's this? This is Thomas Herzog. Looks like he's got a bit of a slowdown there, or is that Mercedes just powering through? They're nearly 3 abreast here, Mercedes, Porsche, Ferrari. That is Caserta going around the outside of Thomas Herzog. Alabau's just in the background. Sinan de Murbas has moved up to 8th. Club moves up into P4. Action all over this Daytona circuit. Was that Torres with a bit of a slowdown? You saw him took the higher line. Vlad Tokarev in his Ferrari, top 10 on the back of de Murbas and Valverde. He's going to pull out to the outside line. That's going to box Valverde in. They're going to look to go 3 right, coming down into turn 1. And Sinan de Murbas manages to hold on to it. Valverde contact with Tokarev, and he's in the wall. Now sideways on the circuit. He tries to roll backwards, and there's even more. And I believe that was Caserta who has clipped Valverde as he tried to move out the way. And Yannick Pletcher, Sebastian Hirsch have all got through. But what damage does Caserta have? Hirsch trying to go around the outside once again of the Audi of Duran Pedina then. This is for 17th and 18th place. Yannick Pletcher is now up into 19th. Valverde could be the driver at risk, depending on the damage. Verardo and Hack could get on the back of him. But contact there with Tokarev. Valverde into the wall. And he tried to move, he should have just kept on the brakes. There is no front bumper, I believe, on the front of that Audi. So whatever he's done, he's got no front bumper for his troubles. There is Valverde, that could be heavily damaged. I wonder if he's got his headbands on that we see him wear in the simulators. Here is Verardo under pressure now from Hack, who had a spin a moment ago. Herzog's got past Caserta, but this is Verardo trying to give Hack as much room as possible. Hack goes through, great move into the Le Mans chicane. And Marco Hack moves up into P21 and will now head after Marcus Valverde. Yannick Pletcher's got himself ahead of Sebastian Hirsch, and here is Alabau looking to pass Caserta on the high side. You see Yannick Pletcher on the back as well. Caserta's coming into pit lane, not sure why, but he's into pit lane then. Here is Sebastian Hirsch, side by side with Valverde, so Valverde must not have as much damage as we thought. Or is Sebastian just struggling a little bit here, but Hirsch holds on over Valverde for the time being. Yannick Pletcher's moved up to 16th place, and at the end of this lap we lose the bottom part of the drivers. Caserta, Lorente, Kovacs, Rogier already out the race. Lorente and Kovacs a lap down as well. Caserta drove into the pit lane there, so maybe a drive-through penalty, not quite sure. But Verardo, the man who's really at risk with everybody else in the pit lane, he's the only one out there. But if there is a moment like that, huge incident for Hack coming through the dogleg, and he's out. He is out. So that is your bottom 5 done. And Verardo's got a cheeky smile on his face there. Possibly can't believe his luck to get through the first 5. He'll take it. I'm sure he will take it. Yannick Pletcher is on a charge here as he's got past Padina. He's now underneath Alabau here. And that is job done, coming into the Le Mans chicane. I believe so, inside line, later on the brakes. Easy pickings for Yannick Pletcher. What a shame he had that spin at the start, because he's had great pace in this one at the minute. This, though, is your race leader. We've not seen him since the race start. Simon De Mori absolutely dominating this race at the moment, under no pressure. Gorgeous colours on that car, must say. There's Torres then, P5 down the order at the moment. He's on the back of Club. And what has happened to Yannick Pletcher? Because he's tumbled back behind Alabau and Padina, and is now under pressure from Sebastian Hirsch and Marcus Valverde. As we lose the bottom 5, now it's Valverde and Verardo. As Yannick Pletcher's been spun around by Sebastian Hirsch, and I think the picture says it all. He's now into that bottom 2, just as we was on about his pace in this race. Yannick Pletcher spun around at turn 1, and Valverde's now out of trouble. So for Marcus Valverde, given a lifeline there, Verardo moves up to 19th place. Yannick Pletcher will be starting near the front, though, in that next race. So he'll be one to watch. Here is Sebastian Hirsch. Michael Club in P4 has currently got the fastest lap of this race with a 1:43.8. So he's not looking bad value for money at the moment. Yannick Pletcher's lap times, by the way, was putting him inside that top 10. So that shows you the pace he's had over the cars around him. Here is Alabau then, with Padina on the back of him in his Audi that is missing a bit of his front end. Mercedes-Benz into the Le Mans chicane, over the first, over the second, and back onto the oval he comes now. The Merbas has got ahead of Jack Badger. Yannick Pletcher, well, how does he want to play this? Because he's on the back of Verardo, and if he passes Verardo, it'll be a position down the order for Yannick. If he doesn't, it'll be a good position above him in the next race. And Yannick using that slipstream to get closer and closer and closer, but them 2 drivers are eliminated. And that now means that Sebastian Hirsch and Marcus Valverde are the drivers at risk. And Hirsch started from the pit lane, not sure why, but he's not had the pace here of what he had in qualifying. Valverde's not a million miles away. He's only 1.5 seconds behind that of Padina. And he's battling with Alabu then. So for Valverde, they're side by side, in fact. Could Valverde buy himself a lifeline and just move up the order a little bit? Sardini's trying to catch Demori. That gap is under a second. On the high side is the Mercedes-Benz. Down the bottom is the Audi. Yannick Pletcher was fighting with these two, and we don't know what happened to him, but he ended up on the behind them. And in the clutches of Sebastian Hirsch. So contact into the Le Mans chicane, and Herzog, Hirsch for Valverde, they might be able to escape elimination. All clean though through the Le Mans chicane. And you get the feeling that that is going to be them two eliminated now. Then the Audi sport car there on the rear wing of Duran Padina. Club moves into P3 ahead of Jatatus now. Jatatus takes that place back, so as we was. We are though going to lose Sebastian Hirsch and Marcus Valverde in this race. This is Sinan de Murbas, who's ahead of Jack Badger, who's got Jack Badger really putting pressure on him at the moment. Oh, this is Thomas Herzog in front of Alabau and Pardina. Herzog can hang on in there for one more lap. He's not close to the back at Palmisano. So it would take a mistake from the car in front of Thomas Herzog to get another shot at this. He's got to try and defend here. Obviously, the more places he can finish up the order, the more points he can have. He'll look to start mid-pack in the race as well. He'll be starting P11 in the next race if it stays as it is at the moment. Gap out front's down to half a second. And Demori now coming under a little bit of pressure. Lost 0.2 on the last lap. We come towards the Le Mans chicane. Here is Alabau. Turns in now. He'll be starting P10 on the grid. In that slipstream of Thomas Herzog in front. It just looks a little too far away. We know more braking zones. It just looks a little too far for him. Gonna have a look though. He's getting closer and closer. I tell you what, one more lap he might have got him done. Thomas Herzog drops underneath the yellow line. And that is the end of Alabau and Padina. And now it is down to Palmisano and Thomas Herzog. Tim Bellicke then has got 2 more laps at least to try and catch on the back of Nopeful. But he's also got the Mercedes-Benz a little bit behind him. There is Palmisano, who's now one of the drivers at risk. This is going to be interesting as they come through the order here. Lap 9 of 14. Let's not forget the top 6 will have the final 2 laps to fight it out. There will be no eliminations on that final 2 laps. It will be just a top 6 shootout. We could take a look at a few replays at the moment out there. This is what happened to Yannick Pletcher at the beginning. Just a tap from Jack Badger. The smallest of contacts here. This is from Badger's onboard look. Just the smallest of contacts on the rear of Yannick Pletcher. And around he went. Oh, and that's the Audi driver early on, spinning into the wall. Kovacs lost it on his own. That is huge. Comes right across the circuit. Oh, big collected there. There's no wonder he retired. Huge moment. Oh, just narrowly missing Yannick Pletcher. Wow, no, sorry, not Yannick Pletcher. That is Demori. That must be why Demori had such a lead at the beginning of this race. That then is Hawk, who got spun around in this race earlier on. Not quite sure who that is in the Mercedes, but yeah, all on his own. And this is where he dropped it on his own into the wall. Big impact. And then this is Yannick Pletcher with Sebastian Hirsch. So down into turn 1, and Hirsch looks like he just turns in on Yannick a little bit there. And them two will be going at it come September in the Racer League. So they've got to make sure that they put this to bed. And we lost Palmisano and Thomas Herzog on that lap then. So they are both eliminated. He's now Tim Bellicki and the Mercedes behind of Pedro Vigario, who are now the drivers at risk, but they have got to try and catch on onto the back of Noteful here, but that gap just a little too big. There is Noteful looking back. You see the headlights, but looks like he's safe for one more lap. He's on the back of Tokarev, who's got Jack Badger and Sinan Demirbas just in front, trying to fight it out. Demirbas would love to make up another place and get himself in that top 6 positions here. Noteful at the minute trying to use that slipstream of the Porsche over the 296 Ferrari. Here is Vigario in the Mercedes-Benz AMG. Comes through the Le Mans chicane. These two are the drivers at risk at the moment. For Yannick Pletcher, he lost 13 places in this race due to 2 incidents. That shows how bad a race he's had in this one. Biggest gainer, Thomas Herzog. He gained 9 places. We are about to lose, though, Tim Bellicki and Vigario. 11th and 12th, it's now Jack Badger and Noteful, who are the drivers at risk because Tokarev has got ahead of Badger. So what has happened to Jack Badger then? At the moment, he was, well, a few moments ago, he was on the back of Sinan Demirbas. He's now in between Tokarev and Noteful here. So a mistake clearly for Jack Badger on the last lap. Now puts him in the danger zone and he's got to get past Tokarev. This allows a bit of pressure off of Demirbas, who's 2 seconds behind Crooken. And that's a wiggle from Tokarev through the horseshoe. That's allowed Jack Badger to go through, and Noteful as well. So his own little twitch through the horseshoe just looked like he maybe carried a bit too much speed through there. Drops him down 2 places. That's going to put him P10. Now needs a good launch down towards the Le Mans chicane and a good exit from it if he's to have any chance. But Jack Badger already looks like he's put a bit of daylight between himself and Noteful. But is that slipstream powerful around here in these cars? We've seen how strong it is already. "16 years of age, I believe I saw Jack Badger last time he was out on the circuit. It's a great to see him back here, young competitor, who is now going to have to set his sights on Sinan Demirbas. That's only 1.6 seconds. But he's under pressure at the minute from Noteful, whose slipstream is coming and coming and coming, and he's going to pull out now. The line's going to come up very, very quickly, though. Noteful's just got ahead of Badger, just ever so slightly. Yes, he has. And Jack Badger will now be eliminated from the race. So Noteful and... oh, no, it's saying Noteful's now out of it. Is that because Badger's just got ahead of him? So I believe Noteful is ahead of Jack Badger. Badger's still going at the minute. We did lose Tokarev. That one, we can tell you, Badger pulls over now. So yeah, Jack Badger. So the slipstream from the Porsche on the Lamborghini did it just on the line. And Noteful now, that wouldn't have helped his momentum through on this lap because he had to go through the first 4 corners behind Jack Badger. Club still with the fastest lap, but I notice he has dropped down to P5. Here is Sinan Demirbas. If he managed to get that gardening glove sponsorship from last season. I wonder if he's got them on now. That's the biggest question. P7 at the moment, behind Crooken, but not close enough really. He's 1.7 behind, and that's probably going to be the end of his first race. Good first race for Sinan. Up a couple of spots. This is the fight, though, for P3. Here is Jatatis coming through the Le Mans chicane. He's got Torres and Club right on his tail. Saw how good that slipstream was coming through the first part of the lap. Sorry, the last part of the lap. Are we going to see it again here? Torres going to look to the outside line of Jatatis. This is where Noteful got past Badger side by side. These are in the top 6. They're going to fight it out on these last 2 laps. No contact made. Oh, great switch back there from Torres. Jetates outbraked himself. Torres gets the switch back, absolutely inch perfect. And now Club's having a look on the back. Demerbas and Noteful we've lost from this race. Crooken is P6. This is the battle for the podium, though, for P3. And this is the battle for the lead. 2 laps to go. Simon De Mori defending from Gerard. Porsche versus... It's Porsche in the top 6. The clear favourite car for today. Oh, not the exit for Gerard in the background. De Mori just manages to pull a bit of a gap, the Austrian driver. We know how powerful that slipstream is. It is a straight shootout between the top 6 now. The penultimate and the final lap. Look at Sardini pulling in on him here. Now on the brakes hard. I wonder if Gerard is just waiting to get, you know, that final bit of slipstream on the next lap. Just playing it tactically here would be my guess. There is Club. It's just the American driver, so if he is in the States, it's, you know, sun will be rising. De Mori now dropping down to second. Gerard Sardini around the outside of turn 1. Not going to get the move done there. So Club in the early hours of the morning. Final lap, though, of the race. The white flag has been given. And they'll be coming around to take the checkered. And now De Mori, for the first time really in this race, looks like he's under some pressure. And there is Torres just behind with Jetates and Club. Club still with the fastest lap of this race. Through the international horseshoe. De Mori leads from Sardini. Torres, Jetates, Club and Crooken. The top 6. This is the battle between the leaders at the moment. Gap looks a little bigger than last time around for Simon De Mori. Well, that slipstream, we've seen how powerful that slipstream is. You just see Gerard there just closing. Now onto the brakes. Carry as much momentum and speed through this part of the circuit as you can. Looks like he has got a good launch out of it. And this is going to be tight now towards the line. That slipstream is going to be huge. Look at the gap coming down and down. That Porsche in the background getting larger and larger in De Mori's rear view mirror. And now here comes Gerard Sardini to pull to the outside. He's got to take that higher line. This is a race to the end. It's going to be so close. We saw with Noteful and Badger. Here comes De Mori versus Sardini towards the line. They come side by side. And the classes Sardini as race winner by 0.02 of a second. Torres will get 3rd. Jetates 4th. Club will finish 5th. And Crooken P6 across the line. But Gerard Sardini there, I believe, is race winner at the line. That was absolutely fantastic racing from both drivers, and Gerard left it very, very late and left it exactly as we said on commentary there. He left it and strategically waited to that last moment. It was the run through this Le Mans chicane that gave him that opportunity to take the race win, and what a race win that was. That was absolutely fantastic. I believe he did win the race. Look at that, by 1,000th of a second, Sardini De Mori. Absolutely outstanding. Torres was P3, Jetates in 4th, Club P5. Crooken was top 6. Sinan Demerbas from Noteful, Jack Badger, Vlad Tokarev, Tim Pellicky. Pedro Vigario with Jean-Luc Balmazano, Thomas Herzog, Alabau, Pardina, Valverde, Hirsch, Fletcher, Ferrado, Hack, Caserta, Lorente, Kovacs and Rogier didn't start the race. Whew. What a race that was. What an absolute finish. And these are a few of the replays from the race, but absolutely brilliant at the line. 1,000th of a second. We said the slipstream was strong. We said it was absolutely brilliant to watch. The drivers are currently out there having a bit of a warm-up before race 2, and that was absolutely outstanding at the end. And I'm sure that Sardini will be over the moon with that performance. Wow, what a race. That was a huge incident there, though, on screen. Jeez, was that a big one. That was huge. And look at this again. Bang. Well, that ended the Audi's race. Or the Porsche's race, should I say. Yeah, not a lot you can say about that one. So a few incidents early on, but as the drivers fell away lap by lap, we saw the cleaner side of it. It's a tight circuit, though, the infield. It's not very wide. It's wide enough for two cars, but it's easy to make contact or easy to just lose it on your own, I suppose. This was Hirsch on Yannick Pletcher. That's going to be a tough one to look into. Yannick going round. This was Jack Badger losing out to Noteful on the line. Look at this for a shot. How close was that? Textbook move this by Torres. Absolutely pitch perfect. Yeah, all right. Cut back. Outbrakes himself, Digitatus. Bang up the inside, powers through. And then this was it on the line. This was absolutely mega on the line. Demori had done nothing wrong all race. And this was just so close. 1,000th of a second separated that gap there. It was absolutely brilliant from the top two. And yeah, so Gerard Sardini will take the 32 points. That's 3 points more than what he was in for the majority of that race. Demori will take 29. They are in on the final parts of their warm-up. But wow, what a race. What an absolutely fantastic opener to the race. Micro J's in the chat there saying, what a finish. Go Crook and go, says Jack as well. So clearly the fans are enjoying it then. And we can bring you the grid order momentarily for the second race, which is obviously, as we said, which is reverse. It is inverted for race 2. And that is going to be right now, Sebastian Rogier, who didn't take to qualify in all race 1, hopefully he'll be there for race 2, is P1 alongside Martin Kovacs. Ruben Lorente, P3, with Marcelo Caserta, P4. Marco Hack, P5. Juan Ferrado, P6. P7 is Yannick Pletcher alongside Sebastian Hirsch. John is possibly there going into turn 1. P9, Marcus Valverde with Sergio Duran Pardina in P10. Gonzalez Alabu is 11th with Thomas Herzog rounding out the top 12. P13 is Gianluca Palmisano with Pedro Vigario in 14th place. Tim Belicky from Vlad Tokarev. Jack Badger 17th alongside Noteful with Sinan Demirbas alongside Tobias Krucken. Michael Clubb will be with Jatatis with G Torres alongside Demori, and bringing up the rear, Gerard Sardini. So the drivers are on the grid. They are getting ready. We do not have Rogier on the grid, which is a shame for him. That promotes everybody up one spot. So now we'll be getting ready to go in this one then. So we're, yeah. What a race the first one was. We're hoping for another 14 laps of similar racing, except it is an inverted grid. Watch out for Yannick Pletcher. He had good pace in that first race. I reckon he's going to have similar pace in the second one, and if he can clear the traffic, he might be away. And who's that in the white Porsche? I believe that is Ruben Lorente, just slowing the lower side down a little bit. Kovacs is taken to the middle of the road to take the cars away. So already at the front of the grid, they're a little spaced out more than they'd have probably liked. That is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. If you're someone like Yannick Pletcher, Sebastian Hirsch, you might want to get through turn 1 pretty cleanly. So here we go then. The safety car will pull into the pits. And for the second and final time today, we are now going to be green and go here at the Daytona Speedway road course circuit. It is a good start, though, from Kovacs out front, who's already got into a good lead. You see them all funneling in the background. And look at that, 3 or 4 abreast coming down into turn 1. They're all over the place at the moment. Everybody is through cleanly now, though. Nobody spinning around. And for Yannick Pletcher, he'll be thankful to make it through turns 2 and 3 this time with no accidents. There is a car, though, off in the background. Who is that? That is Noteful, who's had an off track and is still off in the wall now. And there's a couple more cars. Sinan Demirbas, I believe, is one of them. Indeed he is. His front bumper is dragging along the front of that Porsche. That is G Torres, who is with him. Look at Demori's on the grass. He's got to be careful. With Sardini, he's up to P18, so he's trying to follow them through. Although Demori, no, he's not trying to follow them through. He's ahead of this pack. And Demori now side by side with Crooken. He's got the outside line going onto the oval. Tries to tuck back underneath, but Lorente has got past Kovacs. Caserta's up to third place, but Rogier out. G. Torres is out. So after a good race one, he can't come back in race two. That'll be his day done then, pretty much. No points for Torres. No points for Rogier, not taken to the start. Noteful, Palmisano, Demerbas now in that bottom set group. They're going to want to come through the pack. Palmisano's got past Demerbas, so his Demerbas' damage too great in this one. 5 laps before they can start. Remember, there's no front bumper on Sinan Demerbas' car. Oh, look at this, 4 wide. Down the tri-oval part of the circuit. Thomas Herzog, Jack Badger, 2 of the cars I see involved in this one, as is Club. Jatatis is there as well. A lot of drivers in the mix here. A few off tracks, which means they've had a few slowdown penalties been activated by them. And look, that's just caused a bit of mayhem up in the middle part of the circuit, in the middle part of the field as well. And Jack Badger's going to try and look around the outside of Belleki. Gets a little out of shape. And now he's going to also look at Valverde. Still side by side with Marcus Valverde. Michael Clubb is involved in this as well. So there's a lot of drivers here. Look at these 2 or 3 wide coming into the International Horseshoe. Jatatis is involved, as is Tokarev. They're all still through. How these drivers have not made proper contact with each other here, I do not know, but they are just hustling for position. That's a car off. Believe that's Valverde. Tim Belleki is also off somewhere. He's returned to the pits. That's his day done. Gloves are off. Demerbas is also in the pit lane. So for Tim Belleki, no points today. Demori's looking up the inside now. That is on Crooken. Good move at the horseshoe, coming onto the oval. Sorry, set him up through the horseshoe. Still setting him up through onto the oval part of the circuit. No slipstream here for Demori. You can't see him. They're just side by side. You're getting faint bit of slipstream from the car in front of Sardini then, who Demori needs to finish in front of if he's to take home that €125. Gets it all, spun around at the Le Mans chicane, manages to keep it together, beautifully done, and gets back on the road, but was tapped here, I believe, by Crooken. And there's Gianluca Palmisano down in 21st. He's trying to get on the back of Noteful and make his way through the field. Current fastest lap of the race is Lorente. Caserta and Kovacs exchanging places. This is a little further up the field. Jack Badger looks like he's received a slowdown. He's lost out a couple of places there. Lorente 1.1 clear already out front. Palmisano looking to the outside of Noteful here. And looks very, very slow through turn 1. Has he got an issue? Not sure if he's got an issue. He was looking down at something on his camera, so looking down at possibly something on his rig. Potentially an issue for Gianluca Palmisano, which would be a shame. Hopefully he can get on the back of Noteful and try and make his way back up the order. As here is Tokarev then. Jack Badger just behind him. He's on the back of Jatatis, and they've got Sardini on the rear as well. So Torres out. Rogier didn't at the start. We've lost Tim Belleki and Sinan Demerbas. Gianluca Palmisano could be the next driver to go at the end of lap 5. This is lap 3 though. Fletcher still P5, Hack 4th, Caserta 3rd, Kovacs 2nd, Lorente leading this race. Crooken's got ahead of Thomas Herzog, who's taking that higher line, so potential slowdown there. Demori gets through as well. He's now gaining onto the back of Crooken once more. Needs to be in front of Sardini at the moment, so 3 points was the gap between them two last time around. After race 1 at the moment, Sardini will be scoring 16 points. Demori will be scoring 14. Well, he's going up the inside of Crooken here. No contact this time. Demori's through. Yannick Pletcher's moved up to P4 as well. And Demori up to 16th place. He can now head after the man he's got to try and catch for that prize money. There is Yannick Pletcher, now moves up into that P4 position. He's up 3 spots from his grid position in race 2, obviously based off the reverse grid, Yannick Pletcher. Here's Gerard Sardini on the back of Jack Badger then. But he was driving with no shirt on then. Just can't see it. Very warm in his simulator at home, must be the Spaniard. Oh, it is coming into some summer months. Finally warming up here in the UK through the Le Mans chicane. There you go then, Jack Badger just ahead. There's a good gaggle of cars at the moment just ahead. You see some up on the high side there just in front. They look like they've got a bit of a slowdown. Caserta's got past Kovacs, and I don't believe that is Kovacs out front. Did Sardini just pick up a slowdown there? He's just dropped off the back of the pack a little bit. Sebastian Hirsch moves up another place. Kovacs and Caserta are exchanging places out front. This is the battle. You see Yannick Pletcher just behind, and it's Ferrari versus Porsche. And Kovacs manages to just now put a bit of daylight between himself and Caserta. Now Yannick Pletcher's having a little look, but he's not quite close enough. You just hear that 296 power out the corner. This is on board Yannick. The Swiss driver, the Challenger League champion here at Racing Unleashed. Lovely young man as well. I had the pleasure of meeting him and his father last year. Absolutely brilliant young man, just works hard on what he wants to do, and it's great to see the dedication from Yannick. Just looking at the comments there as well. What a sportsman. Crooken let him by after the contact at turn 1. Yeah, possibly so there. It looked like he let him go a little easier than he needed to. Here is Kovacs P2 at the minute, 1.9 behind Lorente, but he's only just moved into second place, and now Kovacs has that chance to pull clear. Sardini is the fastest man on circuit. He's also the only man in the 43s, but he's still down the order, and this is what the reverse grid gives us. Here is Juan Ferrado then. We are on the end of lap 5, so we are going to lose a driver now. Oh, Hack, he's out. Hack is out. So what has happened to Marco Hack there? But all of a sudden, Palmisano's been given a lifeline. You probably won't believe that, but Gianluca Palmisano given a lifeline. He was just about to be eliminated, but Hack is now retired. And Gianluca will get one more lap then to try and do something. He'll be hoping for more drivers to have mistakes. Here is Ferrado, currently in 18th place. Now Valverde's tumbling down the order. So what's happened to Marcus, Yannick Pletcher and Caserta? That's what's happened to Marcus. He's gone around at turn 2. Jack Badger's up to 11th at the moment. So Marcus Valverde, yep, headband is on. And there is Ferrado and no, Valverde's parked up. Is that him out the race? It is him out the race. So Marcus Valverde is done. That is his day over. Now, Palmisano, get on the back of these two maybe. You're only 3 seconds behind, or 2.7 behind, and maybe you get an extra lap here. He probably can't believe his luck at the moment. So far, Lorente 2.3 out in front. And hopeful there, just onto the grass, the Swiss driver. That is Ferrado just a little wide. De Nervas is apparently on pit exit, but he's just been eliminated in that bottom 5. Excuse me. Nope. Sardini's just moved up another place over Tokarev. It puts another car between himself and Demori. Hard onto the brakes into the Le Mans chicane. There's been no other problems at the minute. Oh, bit of a bad line that. Caserta gets back ahead of Kovacs. Now Kovacs and Caserta exchanging positions. Great battle for P2. Yannick Pletcher's on the back of this as well. They're still side by side through turn 1. Caserta and Kovacs, and Yannick Pletcher waiting in the wings. Oh, chop the nose off Kovacs there on Caserta. Jatatis has got ahead of Alabau just behind. And I believe we are going to lose Palmisano from this race. And Alabau now side by side with Jatatis, coming through the dog leg. Jatatis gets that position now complete. Llorente's running a good race. Now Ferrado, who is side by side with Noteful at the Horseshoe, has gone around. Well, that'll be him 18th and out of this race. It's points for him though today, and it's a learning experience for the Spaniard. Noteful as well. He looks a bit behind Thomas Herzog, so he looks like he's got a lot to do. Here's Perdina then, with Club on the back of him. Jatatis not a million miles behind. Look at this closing speed of the slipstream. Which way is he going to go? Left, right? He's pushing him down towards the Le Mans chicane. Pulls tight towards the wall. Pardina defends the inside line to Le Mans. Through they go. Great racing here at Daytona today. It's been absolutely fantastic racing. And now, just having a look, there was Club. Yannick Pletcher can now start to have a look. He's right on the rear wing of Caserta, but Caserta's trying to use that slipstream of Kovacs, and Yannick's going to have nowhere to go as they break into turn 1. Yannick takes a wider line. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. Very brave from Yannick Pletcher, but as the corner tightens up, he just wasn't able to keep that momentum. And Yannick's going to have to fight another day here. There's Club. Looking up the inside of Perdina, just runs a little deeper than he'd have possibly liked. Didn't quite get the apex there. Not affected him too much though, but Jatatis on the back of him at the moment. Now Club finished 5th in race 1. That's good enough for 26 points. He's currently P8, which is good enough for 23. So could he be in that top 3 position by the end of this one? Here is Crooken in 15th place. Demori still in front. Crooken and Herzog are the drivers at risk, so Crooken could do with getting past Demori. As Jack Badger gets past Alabau now, so Alabau just coming down the order, as we have lost Ferrado and Noteful. Jack Badger now re-overtaken by Alabau. That is Sardini trying to tuck underneath and possibly put a couple more cars between himself and Demori. Jack Badger's going to try and fight this strong. This is all the way down to the Le Mans chicane. And Sardini's backed out of that one, does not want anything to do with that battle. He was boxed in, had nowhere to go. Oh, wiggle there for Alabau. Club's got past Pardina. So is Jatatis, and now Jack Badger around the outside. Alabau had a massive wiggle on the exit of Le Mans. But back comes Alabau. Sardini's now side by side with him, using that slipstream, but is again boxed in. Has nowhere to go as they come around towards turn 1. Now Tokarev is in that slipstream as well. We're going to lose Crooken and Herzog. And Demori is right in this fight here. So Sardini got past Badger. Badger still side by side with Tokarev. And now the Mercedes of Alabau defending from Sardini, who gets a bit of contact there from Tokarev. They've both gone wide, and Demori's got past the pair of them. So Demori ahead of Sardini then. In 12th place, Sardini will be eliminated this lap if he cannot find a way past Simon Demori. It is all happening at the moment. And the man who's sitting in the box seat, you have to say, is possibly Michael Club here then. If he can make up a few more places, might be sat in the box seat for a few more points. As Alabau is losing out to Jack Badger, but that Mercedes seems to have the grunt in a straight line over the Lamborghini. And the Porsche of Demori's now side by side with Badger. And is he going to be ahead? He's now finds himself in that same position that Sardini found himself in. He pulled ahead of Badger. And has got the move done. And he manages to get it done possibly on Alabau. He's slow out. Demori's lost all momentum. and has lost out to Sardini and to Tokarev. Lorente is in the pit, so he's at a moment. He's out of this race. So Demori will be eliminated. How it has changed and turned on its head for Simon Demori. He will finish P13, and that is only good enough for 18 points. He is done. And now Jack Badger will fight with Sardini to be eliminated. Demori's still going out there. He'll obviously get the flag to be told he's done momentarily. Tokarev to the outside of Sardini then. And Demori, I believe, has pulled over. He's no longer in the background shot. So what has happened to Lorente? He's out of this race. Now Kovacs leads from Caserta with Yannick Pletcher. That's Sardini! He's had a huge moment, manages to keep it out the wall. No, he doesn't. He even mounted it for a moment there. That will be the end of his day. And P11, so he'll finish a couple of places ahead of Demori, but that'll give him 52 points. Club is the man to watch. 5th in race 1 and currently 6th. That's 26 and 25. That is 51. Club could be the winner of today. There's a lot of racing still to happen though. We're on lap 10. And now Tokarev ahead of Alabu with Jack Badger. Badger needs 1 place. Oh, was that a bit of contact from Tokarev there? You saw Badger get right out of that. He didn't fancy a single bit of that action. Now gets the good run through the Le Mans chicane. Here he goes. Needs to use that double slipstream. He's picking up from the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Needs to have a run. He got beaten to the line at the death last time out by Noteful. What can he do here? Look at the battle for the lead. 0.3 of a second separate them. We'll stay with this for now, though. And we'll watch these come to line. It looks like we're going to lose Jack Badger. And we do. And he immediately sort of gets out of that and lets the two in front fight, because these two are now the two that are fighting to stay alive. Gonzalez Alabu a little wide on the exit of turn 1. That's going to allow Vlad Tokarev the chance to have a look and the chance to maybe get through. But can Alabu keep it up the inside? No, he can't. And Tokarev gets that move to stick. Club now down to 7th place. That is vital for these points that he needs. He needs to get back ahead of Jatatis and Hirsch maybe to just take the win and take home that €125 prize money. What a bit of racing here at Daytona. Now Yannick Pletcher's lost out a little bit. It was 0.3 separating the top 3. That's now gone up to 1.1 seconds. The drivers at trouble is Gonzalez, Alabu and Tokarev, as we know, but they're not really in this fight. That Audi in the background is Duran Podina. He's the man they've got to catch and pass, but there is some 5 seconds between them. So Podina will go one more. And Club would love to go one more as well. He'd love to get past Jatatis or Hirsch and knock one of them two out. Because the more points he gets in this race, the more likely he is to stand on that top step at the end of the day. So Sebastian Hirsch here doing everything he needs to do to defend from Jatatis. Jatatis now going to have a look on the outside. There you see the top 4 as well. Jatatis now looking to the outside of turn 1. Club's watching on. We did lose Gonzalez, Alabu and Tokarev. So now this is the time where Club needs to make a couple of moves. He needs 1 position at least to be on 51 points, which will make him the outright winner of the day, I do believe. Jatatis, though, was up there, wasn't he, as well? So I have to keep an eye on his points, but Club needs it. What happened to Lorente? That's the question. He was leading by so much. Jatatis has got past Hirsch. Club now needs to get past Hirsch. And has he just done the strategy of wait till the end and get that slipstream to maybe nick it on the line? 0.6 of a second separate the leader. The Mercedes-Benz of Vigorio can't keep with them. Kovacs from Caserta from Pletcher. Look at the closing speed of Club. Has a look into the Le Mans chicane. Not going to do it there, but really closes on the back of Sebastian Hirsch. A lot more confident on the brakes. Get the better exit. Now use that slipstream to go on the banking. Round towards the start line here. Maybe get another lap. Pardina and Club, the two that's at risk of elimination. Pletcher's now tumbled down to P4. So what's happened to Yannick Pletcher further forward? Was right on it with the leaders. He's now behind the Mercedes-Benz. Here comes Club. He's too far back. It's not going to happen for him, is it? No! Gets eliminated, P7. We also lose Duran Pardina then. The Club's going to try and attack the outside line of Sebastian Hirsch, who will go once more. Saying Club, obviously P6, that will redo. Club will be told to move out the way. And now, for the final 2 laps, the top 6 can just fight at it. But Yannick Pletcher off the podium. What happened to him? Being told he's got to slow down at the bus stops. That's why he's lost all momentum. So maybe just pushing too hard with Yannick. Coming into the oval now. They've got 2 laps. Nobody will be eliminated. Now, Hirsch is still driving, as is Club. So, there we go. Club's now been given the message. And into the pits he goes. So Hirsch lost a bit of momentum over Jatatis while Club was still on circuit there. There's the battle for the lead. Martin Kovacs versus Caserta. Porsche, Ferrari, Mercedes, Porsche, Porsche, Porsche. Is your final 6, and as we're about to see the white flag wave. And now can Yannick Pletcher use the Mercedes-Benz to get back onto the leaders with 1 to go. It's going to be a huge ask, just to say. But we've seen a lot happen today. Anything could happen going on to this last lap. The white flag waves. We are on the final lap. Caserta's going to look to the outside of Kovacs. Tries to brake and tuck back underneath, but couldn't get it done. Yannick Pletcher's going to try and do the same thing, but again, couldn't get it done. Nice tight line held there by Pedro Vigario. So a battle for 3rd and 4th, a battle for 1st and 2nd. 5th and 6th look pretty sorted out. You would hate to get a slowdown at this stage of the race. Yannick Pletcher probably threw away the chance of a race win with that slowdown. Through the West Horseshoe. Handful of corners left now. They come through. Look at the closing speed of Caserta. Yannick Pletcher still on the back of the Mercedes. Here he goes. Right down towards the start straight. Towards the Le Mans chicane. They come for the final time. It is Kovacs versus Caserta. It is Vigario versus Pletcher for the podiums and for the race win. Yannick's looking left and right. And nothing done there. Now can Caserta get the run on Kovacs towards the line? This is going to be tight here. We saw this in race 1. Is it going to be the same in race 2? The Ferrari, using all its pace and all its momentum in that slipstream, is going to pull out onto the high side. The 69 of Caserta. Are we going to get a photo finish at the very end once again? They're still side by side. It's coming to the line. There's a bit of contact between them both, but Kovacs takes it from Caserta. Vigario takes it from Pletcher. Jatatis finishes P5, and Sebastian Hirsch will take P6. What a race by all the drivers there. Absolutely fantastic, but Kovacs takes the 2nd race win. From then Marcelo Caserta, Pedro Vigario will take P3. Yannick Pletcher maybe could have had that chance if it wasn't for the slowdown at the end, but what a set of races that was to kick off this Challenge League series in May. Obviously, the Race League back in 2 weeks' time for their Daytona trip. The race results then Martin Kovacs P1 from Marcelo Caserta in 2nd place. And then it is Pedro Vigario P3, Yannick Pletcher P4, Jatatis in 5th, Hirsch, Club, Duran Pardina, Tokrev and Gonzalez Alabu, the top 10. Jack Badger was 11th with Gerard Sardini, Simon Demori, Tobias Krucken, Thomas Herzog, Lorente, Noteful, and Ferrado. What happened to Lorente as well? That was another one he led by for so long. Gianluca Palmisano from Marcus Valverde, Marco Hack, Tim Bellicki, Sinan de Murbas, G. Torres, and Roger never started the race here then. But that was absolutely fantastic. As we can see a few replays, we are going to get the final confirmation. These are race 1 replays. Obviously that was Jack Badger with Sir Yannick Pletcher there at turn 1. We are going to wait for the final classification to be told about who is the race winner and who is the top 3, before we find out who will take home that prize money. First place, €125. Second place, €75. And then third place will take home €50. 2 weeks' time, we'll be back for the Racer League boys to have a go around this Daytona circuit in the IMSA GT3 cars, and their opportunity to take home a little bit more prize money then. But what a day of racing. What 2 races that was. That was absolutely fantastic from everybody out on circuit then. A few incidents here and there, granted, but the racing was phenomenal. Yannick Pletcher at the end might be kicking himself for maybe throwing away a podium, but I think Club has possibly tied with Gerard Sardini in this race of 50 points. And if I'm guessing, Sardini will take the win because of the race 1 win he had. But we'll see. We'll wait for official confirmation from Race Control. You're seeing a few of the replays early on in race 2. Just with it being so congested, oh, that's a lunge. No contact made, absolutely beautiful, and it all just gets bumped up, and bang, there is a backwards Sinan de Murbas. This is Demori. That was him getting tapped around by Crooken there. This was the mistake of Huck, all on his own. Look, too hot through the bus stop, bang, into the wall. He goes. I believe this is on board his view. Look, he just got too hot. Car just bounced. Rio went from him. And into wall he went, going into turn 1. Oh, that is Marcus Valverde straight into the back of the Audi. And then the Audi just chops across the front of him. And how he didn't get collected. Look at that, just so close to the back of the Audi. This is looking back from Gonzalez Alibu. Yeah, the Audi just comes across straight into Valverde. This is a battle that happened at the end. Sardini, the black and red car, just pushing Tokarev out wide. That's what allowed Demori through. And Demori up the inside. We do, though, have a final classification of the results. It is Jatatis who is the winner overall. So out of nowhere, he got the race win. And we can speak with him now. Harold, that was a fantastic win by that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good race, very good race.
Good 2 races from yourself to bank the points, and I suppose that's what today was all about. Be consistent, get good results, and get the points overall.
Sure, yeah, of course. First race, it's not your normal, pretty much race. Try to finish at, as high as possible. Don't take, too many unnecessary risks. Don't fight too much. But the second race is just lottery, basically. Of course, not not completely. Still, you have quite a lot of, control of how to go with your race. But yeah, I chose to not pick any unnecessary battles. Got really lucky at start, avoiding all of those cars that were facing our way. Just picked my battles and got through the field.
And it looked like at the end of race 2, it was your fight with Sebastian Hirsch and Michael Clubb that managed to make you get this race, this first place overall, because if you'd have finished behind Clubb, I assumed you'd probably be sat here second place.
Yeah, probably. And my second race, I was just following Michael. He was taking, also similar strategy to me, just taking it quite easy. So yeah, thanks to Michael. But yeah, in the end, when I managed to get past Michael and Sebastian just in time.
Well, congratulations on the overall race winner. On the overall winner for the day. You'll be taking home €125. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So that was Haldas Chitatas there then, and we can now speak with Gerard Sardane then, the second place man. Gerard, race 2 didn't exactly go the way you wanted it to, but a bit of prize money, you've got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I am so happy because race 1 I won it, and it was a very difficult race with Simon de Mori. And in the second one I only have to avoid incidents, but when I had a mistake, I crashed.
Just talk us through that race 1, because that was thrilling. Was it the strategy to sort of stay in the slipstream of De Mori till the very end?
Yeah, it was, I think. If I go to the bus stop and I was close, I thought I can win it. And I tried it and I had to win.
You did indeed. It was very close on the line. Race 2, like you said, not gone the way you'd have wanted it to, but it was them points in race 1 that you banked that meant race 2 you could just be a little more cautious, I suppose.
Yeah, of course. I had more, but it's what it is. This is the race, and I agree with the result, with the second place. Haroldas have a very, very good second race with a lot of overtakes, and it's just difficult, so difficult with this slipstream here to overtake. And congratulations to Haroldas and Michael also.
Indeed. Well, Gerard, congratulations on the €75 coming your way. Well done today.
Thank you so much.
And we can speak with Michael Clubb, who was third place. Michael, third place today, just ran out of time at the end of race 2.
I know. I didn't even realize where I was at race 2. There was somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody tapped me going to turn 1. They spun themselves, and I thought I got a penalty for causing a collision, but I was clean. But no, that was a lot of fun, man. I did not expect to come P3 overall.
P3 overall, and like you say, it was really 2 good races from yourself that meant you could put yourself in this position to win some prize money.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first ever league race period that I've ever done to have such a good result like this.
Well, fantastic to hear from yourself. Hopefully you'll be back for many more than if this was your first one. With it being your first one, did you enjoy it? Did you have fun? We can't seem to hear Michael Clubb at the moment. Not sure why.
Hello. Can you hear me now?
There we go. Yeah, we have you now.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, no, it was great racing, really clean. Everybody.
Yeah, I believe we lost
My mic.
I think he's having microphone trouble, so we will leave Michael there. We'll hopefully hear from him again in the future. Hopefully Michael enjoyed his first league outing then, and we'll be back for many more races to come throughout the Racing Unleashed iRacing series. Obviously, 2 weeks' time, we get the Racing League drivers who take to the Daytona International Speedway, the road circuit, which will be fantastic. That is on the 9th of May, and then Challenge 3 of the spring events for Assetto Corsa. We'll be back on the 25th of May. There's no double headers this month. That'll be the final spring event of spring, I suppose. Obviously then going into the summer months with a bit of a break for the Assetto Corsa stuff before their championship season starts in September. This is the prize money they can win in their championship season. If you want to take part, make sure you head over to one of our lounges in Munich, Madrid, or in the Zurich Kemptal Airport or the Calm lounges. 3,500 Swiss francs can go your way for a Racer League win. For the season, you can win 15,000 francs. That is what Michael Smeedle took home last year. If you were Yannick Pletcher, you took home 750 Swiss francs every time you won a race. He took home 3,000 for winning the Challenger League. So they will be back with that prize money come September for the Assetto Corsa competitions. The prize money going into the Racer League next time out, I have it just in front of me, is €200 for a win, 150 for second, and €100 for third place. So make sure you join us 19th of May for Daytona Part 2, if you will, and I'm looking forward to that one already after today's racing. And make sure you join us for Spring Event 3 on the Assetto Corsa platform then. What a day it has been here in the Apex Studios. That is all we have for you today. We will see you on the 19th of May. Goodbye.